Part 6. From the City to the Strongest in the Universe. Author, G. Difeng Ren. Chapter 51. In a short time, Li Yang's funds exceeded 120 million. You can actually buy an anti-cancer drug. Congratulations to the 11th auctioneer for the 506-pound bluefin tuna. In the auction house, the auctioneer smiled and said, "Okay, this auction is over." The auction was over, and everyone kept walking out. Google searched Can. Zhao Kun's face had returned to normal at this time. He glanced at Li Yang and then retracted his gaze. He walked out directly. After leaving, he called Zhao Gangxing and told him about what happened here. Hearing the news, Zhao Gangxing was a little surprised and said, "You said that Li Yang caught 13 bluefin tuna and sold them at a price of 100 million this time." His attention has always been on Li Qiuhe and Zhao Rou. As for his grandson Li Yang, he basically didn't pay much attention to him. "Yes, Dad, with so much money, Li Yang is completely likely to buy anti-cancer drugs. Should we intervene?" Zhao Kun asked. This was the first time that Zhao Gangxing was surprised by his grandson. 100 million is not a small amount. Without the corresponding relationship background, it is basically impossible for ordinary people to earn it. Like Li Qiuhe, he has earned 10 million in more than 20 years, which is actually a small achievement. How many ordinary people have a deposit of 1 million in their lifetime? And his grandson, who caught 13 bluefin tuna, earned 100 million. Hearing what Zhao Kun said, Zhao Gangxing paused for a few times, shook his head, and said, "Don't intervene. Even if Li Yang gets anti-cancer drugs, let him get it. It's just one anti-cancer drug." He said indifferently, "Doesn't Li Qiuhe love Zyro? Let Zyro use this anti-cancer drug, and we don't need to do anything. Zhao Rou is his daughter. Even if he is furious, he can't watch his daughter die of cancer, so he will definitely buy an anti-cancer drug." Now, Li Yang took it out, just as they wished. If this anti-cancer drug is used by Li Qiuhe, it will just let Zhao Rou see what Li Qiuhe is like. She gave up everything to choose to be with Li Qiuhe, but watched her suffer from cancer, but chose to use it herself. In Zhao Gangxing's view, Li Yang's purchase of anti-cancer drugs has no effect on them. They also hope that Li Yang will buy anti-cancer drugs and give them to Li Qiuhe. As for the second anti-cancer drug, Zhao Gangxing thinks that Li Yang can't get it at all. It's already a great luck to encounter bluefin tuna. Li Yang's good luck got 100 million yuan because of this. Can he encounter it again? This is basically impossible. "Dad, I know." Zhao Kun nodded. "Li Yang, my aunt, and I will leave first." Zhou Yao took Zhou Xiaoyun's arm and said with a smile. Li Yang nodded with a smile and said, "Okay, I also plan to go back to Linhai City." Zhou Xiaoyun said with a smile, "Li Yang, when you are free, you should look for our Yao Yao more often." "Oh, aunt, what are you talking about?" Hearing Zhou Xiaoyun's words, Zhou Yao suddenly felt shy. Looking at Zhou Yao like this, Li Yang's heart was also touched. "Okay, Li Yang, look forward to meeting in the future," Zhou Xiaoyun said with a smile. Zhou Yao and Zhou Xiaoyun left and returned to the car. Zhou Xiaoyun couldn't help but say, "Yao Yao, what's the situation with Li Yang? I don't think he likes you very much. You even took out 3 million this time and deliberately gave it to Li Yang through my hands. She came to auction bluefin tuna, but she didn't intend to bid a high price deliberately. Zhou Yao asked her to bid before, and bought the second to last bluefin tuna at a high price. As for why the second to last one, because there must be many people competing for the largest bluefin tuna, and if the price of the second to last one is high, the price of the first to last one will be higher." Hearing this, Zhou Yao said softly, "Li Yang's parents have cancer and are in great need of money now. I can't help him much, and this is all I can do." She obviously knew something about Li Yang's parents. Alas, you are a love-brained girl, and you will suffer in the future." Zhou Xiaoyun knocked on Zhou Yao's head helplessly. Zhou Yao smiled at what Zhou Xiaoyun said. She knew very well what she was doing. She thought for a while and asked, "And, what is the relationship between Li Yang and the Zhao family? Is Li Yang Zhao Kun's nephew?" She knew about Li Yang's parents before, but she only knew this, and didn't know anything else. Speaking of this, Zhou Xiaoyun nodded, and a trace of caution appeared on her face, saying, "Yao Yao, I also heard this from my father accidentally. Zhao Gangxing has 2 sons and a daughter. The daughter is called Zhaoro. At the beginning, it seemed that Zhao Gangxing wanted Zhaoro to be with Zheng Gan of the Zheng family, but Zhaoro chose an ordinary person and was directly driven out of the house by Zhao Gangxing. Then Li Yang should be Zhaoro's son." She looked at her niece and said, "You should have heard a little about the Zheng family. It is a cultivation family. One is at the heaven level and the other is even at the king level." When talking about this, Zhou Xiaoyun's face was full of caution. The more superior the family, the more you can feel the power of the cultivator. And the strongest cultivator in the world can even hit the nuclear bomb without any damage, which is simply unimaginable. The power of nuclear bombs now is unknown how much more powerful it is than before, but it still can't do anything to the strongest person. One person is better than a country. This really happened in reality. Zhou Yao was silent. She didn't expect Li Yang's life experience to be so complicated. Looking at Zhou Yao's appearance, Zhou Xiaoyun sighed and said, "Yao Yao, I will remind you now that it is actually difficult for you and Li Yang to get along. You know about the family. Other wealthy families basically have 1 or 2 practitioners, but our Zhou family has none. It is not possible to become a practitioner just by wanting to. You must have the corresponding talent, and this talent is rare. Otherwise, rich people will choose to practice. The Zhao family has a practitioner, and other families also have one, but the Zhou family where Zhou Xiaoyun and Zhou Yao are located does not have one. Thanks to Banzhengliang Daoshang for the 1,500 reward, and thanks to 08A and Ni Sahi for the 100 rewards. Thank you. It's the 3rd update again. Please give me monthly tickets and recommendation tickets. From the City to the Strongest in the Universe. Author, Ji Difeng Ren. Chapter 52. The top wealthy families such as the Zhao family and the Chen family all have 1 or 2 practitioners. The Zhou family where Zhou Xiaoyun and Zhou Yao belong is also a top wealthy family, but there is no one. You also know that Grandpa and the others are eager for cultivators. They want their family to be related to cultivators immediately. However, there is obviously a conflict between Li Yang's parents and the Zheng family. Grandpa and the others will never allow such a hidden danger to the family. Zhou Xiaoyun shook her head. Zhaoro chose Li Kuahe. Although the Zheng family didn't take any action, who knows what they were thinking? Do you secretly hold a grudge? It's just that because of your status as a cultivator, you can't take action against ordinary people, although you are suppressing it. If Zhou Yao and Li Yang are together at this time, will this make the Zheng family also hostile to the Zhou family? If a cultivator appears in the Zhou family, will he be suppressed by the Zheng family? This hidden danger is too great. The Zhou family does not have a single cultivator now. They are already in a very weak position. It is absolutely impossible for them to let this hidden danger appear in the family again. Therefore, they definitely don't want to have anything to do with Li Yang. After hearing what Zhou Xiaoyun said, Zhou Yao was silent for a moment and said, "Sister-in-law, I know, but I have the final say in my affairs. At worst, like you, sister-in-law, I plan not to get married in my life." Zhou Xiaoyun also fell in love with a boy, but due to family issues, she had no choice but to break up. As for Chen Jiamu, the Zhou family is very happy to see Zhou Xiaoyun with him. Chen Jiamu's brother is less than 30 and has reached the earth level. He has the possibility of becoming a heaven level in the future and has unlimited potential. However, Zhou Xiaoyun had no interest in Chen Jiamu at all, and she could only deal with the family with a non-marriage attitude. "Oh, Yao Yao, talking about you, why are you teasing my sister-in-law?" Zhou Xiaoyun felt that Zhou Yao was in a very low mood, so she deliberately said loudly. She sighed in her heart. Now she feels that the people in her family are crazy, and they don't know how crazy they are about cultivation. On the other side, Li Yang watched Zhou Yao leave and said silently in his heart, "The day my parents are cured, I will confess my love to Zhou Yao." In his feeling, Zhou Yao must like him. He shook his head and put away the complicated emotions in his heart. "Uncle Qin, I'm leaving." After the auction ended, Li Yang looked at Qin Shanchuan and said with a smile. Next to Qin Shanchuan, Qin Yu was staring at Li Yang. At this time, Li Yang returned to his gentle and calm look. Looking at this, she could not connect him with the arrogant look before. Qin Yu asked Qin Shanchuan secretly just now, but Qin Shanchuan didn't know anything about cultivation. He only knew that Zhaoro was Zhao Qingxing's daughter. Knowing this, Qin Yu was very surprised. "I didn't expect that Li Yang's grandfather had such an impressive status. Zhao Qianxing was the richest man in China more than 10 years ago. Li Yang is the grandson of the richest man?" Qin Shanchuan nodded without holding back. A smile appeared on his face and he said, "Xiao Yang, I just got the news that the anti-cancer drug should be released in a week." Anticancerin. Upon hearing the news, Li Yang's eyes suddenly lit up. He has already earned 20 million before, and with the 100 million from this auction, he already has 120 million. Last time, the price of one anti-cancer pill was 120 million. And there is still 1 week left, and he will definitely make money this week. Because at this time, the octopus clone discovered some fish schools on the seabed, which were worth several million. At this time, the octopus clone was following him and would go to sea as soon as he returned. "It's finally here," Li Yang was excited. Although he only has enough money to buy one now, he believes that he will be able to save enough money to buy another anti-cancer drug next time. "Thank you, Uncle Qin, for informing me," Li Yang thanked him. "It's a small matter." Qin Shanchuan shook his head and said, "But I don't know the specific date for the anti-cancer hormone. It should be within 7 to 10 days. I will let you know when the time is confirmed." "Okay." Li Yang nodded. After leaving the auction house, Li Yang looked at the clear sky and breathed a sigh of relief. This bluefin tuna auction went much better than he imagined. "Call your parents now." With a smile on his face, Li Yang quickly dialed his parents' phone number. In Shanghai Hospital, Li Qiuhe and Zhaoro stayed together. Now Zhaoro was also hospitalized, but she still came to Li Qiuhe's ward often. "Brother Hai, how much do you think Yan Jiang's bluefin tuna can be sold for?" Zhaoro couldn't help but ask. They knew that Li Yang's bluefin tuna was being auctioned. Li Qiuhe smiled and said, "It should be more than 80 million. He smiled and said, "With Yan Jiang's ability, I will definitely be able to buy an anti-cancer pill in a while." They now know that Li Yang can practice and walk on the bottom of the sea. With such ability, Li Yang will definitely make money very quickly. Buzz. While they were talking, their cell phones rang. "It's Yan Jiang's call." The two quickly answered the call. On the phone, Li Yang said with a smile, "Dad, Mom, the auction is over." A total of 100 million bluefin tuna were auctioned. Li Yang didn't waste time and quickly told the story, "I already have the opportunity to buy an anti-cancer drug with the money I have. 100 million. Hearing Li Yang's words, Li Qiuhe and Zhaoro became happy. "Also, Dad, Uncle Qin told me before that the anti-cancer drug should be available for sale in a week or 10 days. I will buy one then." Hearing what his son said, Li Qiuhe nodded and said, "Okay, Yang, if you buy it, come directly to Shanghai for your mother to use." The 100 million auction and the appearance of the anti-cancer drug undoubtedly made Li Qiahe very happy. He talked to his son and hung up the phone. "Brother Hai, your condition is much more serious than mine." Xiaoro couldn't help but said. Li Qiahe smiled and said, "Xiaoro, it doesn't matter who uses it first. I still have several months. With Yan Jiang's ability, he will definitely be able to buy the second anti-cancer drug in the next few months." Hearing this, Xiaoro had to nod. After leaving Xi'an City, a few hours later, Li Yang returned to Linhai City. "Keep making money. Don't relax in the next week." "Back here," Li Yang said silently in his heart. 120 million is only the lowest price of the anti-cancer. If other rich people need it and bid higher, he will not be able to bid it, so he has to continue to make money, and strive to make 140 million, 150 million, and so on. If I have a huge harvest in the next week, or even make more than 100 million, can I buy 2 anti-cancers? Li Yang couldn't help looking forward to it. But he shook his head again. Even if he could make money in the ocean, time would not be so fast. Even if he caught very precious marine life, it would take several days to sell it, just like this bluefin tuna auction, which took 4 or 5 days from beginning to end. In the past few days, the octopus clone did not find anything more precious in the ocean, and the best one was not even better than the yellow croaker school he encountered before. This shows that he was really lucky to encounter the bluefin tuna. Don't think about it, take one step at a time. Even if I can't buy 2 this time, I must buy the second anti-cancer next time. Li Yang took a deep breath. He began to call Li Jun and other crew members. "You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment." From the City to the Strongest in the Universe. Author, Ji Difeng Ren. Chapter 53. At Li Jun's house, Li Jun is having dinner with Zhang Ya at this time. In the past few days, Li Jun has been staying at home, waiting for Li Yang's call to go abroad. Diamond suit, diamond suit, diamond suit. After the bluefin tuna auction ended, Li Yang also gave red envelopes to the crew, about 100,000 yuan each. Last time the large yellow croaker was sold for 20 million, this time the bluefin tuna was sold for 100 million, so the red envelope must be more generous. Li Yang is not a hard-earned person, and when a fishing boat has a big harvest, it is a traditional rule to give red envelopes to the crew. Li Jun received 100,000 yuan a few hours ago, which made both Li Jun and Zhang Ya extremely happy. "Husband, with this 100,000, we can prepare for our children in advance," Zhang Ya said with a smile. Their conditions are average. Although they are married, they are not ready to have children for the time being. But now, in a short period of time, Li Jun has hundreds of thousands in his hands. With the previous savings from his family, he can have a child. "Well, we have to work harder," Li Jun said with a smile. While the two were talking, suddenly Li Jun's phone rang. After checking it, it was Li Yang calling. Li Jun quickly answered the call. "Xiao Yang, I'm eating, okay, I'll come over right after eating," Li Jun said quickly. After hanging up the phone and looking into Zhang Ya's eyes, Li Jun said directly, "Xiao Yang is back. We will go to sea directly in the afternoon. I will leave immediately." He quickly took a few mouthfuls of food and then stood up. "Husband, pay attention to safety when going to sea." Seeing this, Zhang Ya quickly stood up and helped Li Jun get his things. She now knows that her husband works behind her cousin, but the remuneration for this job is extremely generous, and hundreds of thousands have been paid into her account in a short period of time. Although she knew this was not long-term, it was enough for them to save for 2 or 3 years. Son de Tao's home. "Dad, Mom, Brother Li called me. I'm going to the boat. I'll call you when I get back." Son de Tao was lying on a chair playing with his mobile phone, looking carefree. If it was normal, his father would definitely say something to him, but he didn't say it now. Previously, his son's mobile phone received 100,000 yuan directly. In a short period of time, his son had already earned 120,000 yuan from going overseas. He worked exhaustingly on the construction site and only earned 80,000 to 90,000 yuan a year. His son surpassed him in a year in just a few days. After finishing speaking, Son de Tao's mother quickly helped him get his things and kept reminding him, "De Tao, be careful of the danger. You should listen to Xiao Yang, you know? He is the boss now." "I know," Son de Tao said carelessly. During this time, his money continued to increase, his status in the family continued to rise, and his father no longer asked him to work on the construction site. At this time, Son de Tao's father also said, "You have just started working as a crew member, so do it well and learn more." He had always hoped that his son could go to the construction site, but as his son earned more money, his attitude also changed. "Since my son likes the profession of seafarer, he might as well continue doing it." "Don't worry, Dad." Son de Tao left the house with a smile on his face. At a place on the coast of Linhai City, many crew members gathered. "Boss!" Looking at Li Yang, all the crew members shouted. Yes, Li Yang looked at everyone and said, "Get ready to go to sea." Everyone got on the boat, and the fishing boat sailed away from the coast and headed towards the deep sea. In the following time, Li Yang's fishing boat continued to harvest, but he never encountered a large yellow croaker that could surpass the previous one. However, his savings were still increasing at an average rate of several million per day. In addition to fishing, Li Yang is also constantly practicing. He had reached the third stage of body training a week ago, and now a week later, a quarter of his third stage of physical training has been completed. And now it is getting closer to half. According to the analysis of the information Li Yang knew, his current third stage of the body refining chapter should be equivalent to the earth level stage of a cultivator. There are not many cultivators at the earth level. Of course, Li Yang hopes that he will be stronger. While practicing on its own, the octopus clone's strength is also constantly improving, and another sign of its progress is that its size is still increasing. At this time, the octopus clone's size is already close to 8 meters. Like a new ocean overlord. Just like that, a week passed in the blink of an eye. "Xiao Yang, the news has come out. In Beijing the day after tomorrow, 2 anti-cancer substances will appear on the foundation, and they will be auctioned." A week later, Qin Shanchuan finally called Li Yang. Finally here, on the fishing boat, the sea breeze came in waves, and Li Yang took a deep breath, his eyes shining. It was now 8 or 9 o'clock in the evening, and it was already dark, but the fishing boat was still sailing and the crew was still working. "Return." Without hesitation, Li Yang immediately ordered the crew to start returning home. "We are returning now. We can sell the things on the ship for about 1 million yuan. I will fly directly to Beijing tomorrow afternoon." In 1 week, Li Yang earned another 20 million, and the money in his account now reached 140 million. The last price of the 2 anti-cancer substances was 120 million and 130 million respectively, so there is a high possibility that he will get it at auction this time. However, Li Yang still felt a pity. There was still no miracle in this week, and it was impossible to auction 2 anti-cancer substances. Although he felt a little pity, Li Yang was not discouraged. What he lacked now was just time. At around 3 or 4 in the morning, the fishing boat finally approached the coastline. The crew had dealt with all the things, and the people from the hotel and restaurant had also transported all the things away. The 1 million was also put into the account. It was already past 5 o'clock. Everything is ready, just waiting for the plane at around 2 o'clock in the afternoon. At this time, Li Yang finally breathed a sigh of relief. At this time tomorrow, he would be in Beijing, and it is very likely that the anti-cancer factor had been auctioned. The crew left, and only Li Yang was walking slowly on the beach at this time. It will take me at most 1.5 hours to get to the airport. The plane is at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and it's only 5 o'clock in the morning now. I will continue to see if I can get something. He thought about it and walked directly to the seabed. Now there is plenty of time, and he may be able to find something on the seabed and increase his wealth. Who knows what the final transaction price of the anti-cancer factor is? If it is just a few 100,000 or 1 million, and it is not auctioned, then Li Yang will regret it to death. It is possible that he will find something on the seabed again this time, and the things he picked up can be sold for hundreds of thousands. Thinking in his heart, Li Yang's body was about to enter the sea water. At this moment, Li Yang's pupils suddenly shrank, and his eyes showed an extremely shocked look. Whoosh! He retreated sharply and quickly left the ocean. Thanks to Banzhengliang Daoshang for the 1,500 reward, thank you, please give me monthly tickets and recommendation tickets. From the City to the Strongest in the Universe. Author, Ji Difeng Ren. Chapter 54. As soon as he entered the sea water, Li Yang retreated sharply, as if he had encountered something incredible. Crash! As he retreated, the sea water surged, and then a huge ferocious creature revealed its body. This is a strange creature that looks like a big lobster. Its entire body is 4 meters long. It is completely black, as if it is covered with a thick layer of armor. Its 2 giant pincers made even Li Yang feel a little bit of danger when standing on them. Is this a lobster? Is it too big? Li Yang was shocked when he saw this huge lobster-like creature. The largest lobster recorded in the ocean is only 1 meter and 2 meters, but the one in front of you is 3 or 4 times that size. Overall, the creature in front of me looked like one of those sea monsters with huge destructive power in TV disaster movies. The lobster-like monster's billiard ball-sized eyes seemed to flash with a trace of violence. It waved 2 large pincers and attacked Li Yang directly. Li Yang didn't dare to be careless. He made fists with both hands and directly unleashed his most powerful strength. His right fist hit the lobster monster like a hammer. Bang! A dull sound sounded, and the lobster monster was pushed back several meters. A fist mark appeared on its shell, and Li Yang actually felt a trace of pain in his fist. Isn't this shell too hard? Li Yang rubbed his fists. What strength is he now? If divided in detail, it can be called the middle level of the prefecture level. His physical fitness is 20 times that of ordinary people. With such strength, with one punch, he will be as defenseless as a tiger. Even an adult great white shark will be hit in the head with one punch, but this one, the lobster monster, is not dead, it just has a fist mark on its body. After being repelled by Li Yang, the lobster monster not only did not show any fear, but instead charged forward even more crazily and violently. Li Yang retreated while fighting, and punched out desperately. He also had a knife in his hand, but when he tested it just now, the knife couldn't pierce the lobster monster at all, and it was far less useful than his fist. Soon Li Yang returned to the shore, and the lobster monster also chased after him. You still dare to catch up? Seeing this scene, Li Yang sneered in his heart. His strength will definitely be stronger on the shore. Although the lobster monster in front of him is very strong, it is far behind him in terms of speed, and he can only attack. Just like this, punch after punch, the resistance of the lobster monster soon became weaker and weaker, and finally it stopped moving. Phew, finally dead. Li Yang breathed a sigh of relief. At this time, the lobster monster's body was densely covered with fist marks, and the whole body didn't look very complete. However, even though he killed the lobster monster, some blood was flowing out of Li Yang's fists, and his hands were burning with pain. As the skill was running, the spiritual energy of the surrounding world entered his body, and the wounds on his hands were slowly recovering. What the hell is this? At this time, Li Yang was thinking silently. According to his inference, the strength of the lobster monster in front of him is at least close to the earth level. Even if it encounters a great white shark, the winner will definitely be this lobster monster. However, the overlord of the ocean has no introduction to this lobster monster. While he was thinking about it, Li Yang's expression suddenly changed and he turned around suddenly. Who? There was actually a person standing behind him at this time. It was a man who looked to be in his 30s, wearing black clothes. He was looking at Li Yang with a smile. Rightward arrow. There was absolutely no one behind Li Yang just now, but the man in front of him seemed to appear out of thin air. It will really scare the faint of heart to death. You are young and have Earth-level strength. There is actually a genius practitioner hidden in Linhai City. The man looked at Li Yang and found him. He was not surprised, but said with a smile. Looking at Li Yang's wary eyes, he added, "Let me introduce myself. My name is Xiaoji, from Tianyuan Palace." Xiaoji? Tianyuan Palace. Li Yang looked at the man in front of him, and he was indeed a little wary at this time. There is no doubt that there should be a cultivator in front of him. Even though he knew there were cultivators in this world, this was the first time he saw them. In addition, when meeting Xiaoji, his hidden identity as a cultivator was also exposed. For Li Yang now, he obviously doesn't know the rules of the cultivation world. Seeing that Li Yang didn't respond, Xiaoji smiled and said, "You must have acquired the cultivation method accidentally and now have the strength you have now, right?" Although Xiaoji didn't say that he knew all the prefecture-level cultivators on Earth, the young man definitely knew about them, but he definitely had never seen Li Yang. Li Yang was silent for a moment, nodded and said, "Yes." Xiaoji smiled and said, "Then how much do you know about cultivation?" Seeing that the man in front of him did not have any malicious intentions, Li Yang said, "I know that the cultivation realms are divided into yellow level, Xian level, earth level, heaven level, and king level. I don't know about the others." Xiaoji nodded and said, "Well, this is also the division of our cultivation realms. I just told you that I come from Tianyuan Palace, which is our country's cultivator organization and the most powerful cultivator organization in the world." The most powerful. Li Yang was stunned and looked at Xiaoji. Xiaoji smiled and said, "Tianyuan Palace was founded by the strongest cultivator on earth. Do you think it is the most powerful force?" Hearing this, Li Yang suddenly showed a look of shock in his eyes and said, "You mean the strongest one? The one who can defeat a nuclear bomb?" Unexpectedly, the first cultivator he came into contact with was from the faction of the terrifying existence that could challenge a nuclear bomb. Xiaoji glanced at Li Yang. "Boy, you are not honest. You said you only knew the division of cultivation realms. Now it seems that you know a lot." He smiled and nodded, "You are right. Our boss can really challenge a nuclear bomb." When he talked about that person, there was a hint of awe and admiration in his eyes. Really, Li Yang was amazed. "Since you know, are you interested in joining our Tianyuan Palace?" Xiaoji looked at Li Yang and asked. "Since you have a talent for cultivation and your strength has reached the earth level, it is best to join the cultivator force. Only by contacting other cultivators can your strength be improved more quickly." Hearing Xiaoji's invitation, Li Yang thought about it for a while, but did not refute. He asked directly, "What are the benefits of joining you?" He was not a hot-headed person, and he had some concerns before. Xiaoji was not surprised to hear Li Yang's question. If he really met a cultivator who begged to join him after a few words, he thought that person must be very simple-minded. Normally, he would definitely ask clearly. Xiaoji smiled and said, "Tianyuan Palace has a lot of things. Tianyuan Palace has things that are difficult to get in the outside world, and Tianyuan Palace also has things that the outside world does not have. Just like some medicinal herbs that are helpful for cultivation, which are basically not seen in the outside world, but Tianyuan Palace has such treasures directly." medicinal herbs that can help with cultivation. Hearing this, Li Yang's heart moved. He is now cultivating to absorb the strange energy between heaven and earth, and he has not encountered those medicinal herbs yet. After thinking for a while, Li Yang suddenly asked, "Do you have anti-cancer agents?" From the City to the Strongest in the Universe. Author, G. Difeng Ren. Chapter 55. Li Yang can only buy one anti-cancer now, and he needs to continue to earn money for the other one. Hearing this, Xiao Ji smiled and said, "Of course, everyone who joins Tianyuan Palace will have corresponding contribution points at the beginning. These contribution points can be used to buy some things directly. As long as you want, you can buy anti-cancer directly with contribution points." Buy it directly with contribution points. Li Yang's eyes lit up. According to Xiaoji, as long as he joins Tianyuan Palace, he can get anti-cancer immediately. After turning his eyes, Li Yang asked again, "After joining, what do I have to pay?" Xiaoji smiled and said, "I know what you are worried about. Our cultivator organization has a high degree of freedom. Most of the time, you can do your own things without being controlled by others, but sometimes some tasks will be issued. At that time, you can choose to do some tasks. Of course, those tasks are also voluntary. After you join, if you don't want to, others can't force you. Of course, I just told you that there are medicinal herbs for cultivation in Tianyuan Palace. These need to be exchanged with contribution points. You can get some contribution points by participating in those tasks. Only with contribution points can you exchange herbs. If you don't participate in any tasks, the resources in Tianyuan Palace will naturally have nothing to do with you." Li Yang nodded. He understood that there is no reward without effort. Now it seems that the power of cultivators is much better than he imagined. Seeing that Li Yang did not express his intention to join immediately, Xiaoji did not force him. He smiled and said, "Let's add WeChat so that we can contact each other in the future." He took out a smartphone, and the two cultivators added WeChat in such a strange scene. After adding the contact information, Xiaoji pointed to the lobster monster next to Li Yang and said, "You killed this mutant lobster. I'm going to buy it from you." "Buy it?" Li Yang was stunned when he heard this. Xiaoji nodded and said, "In addition to the cultivators on Earth, there are a few creatures that have mutated and are much stronger than before, just like the lobster in front of us has Xian-level strength, which is too threatening to ordinary people. One of the tasks of our cultivators is to get rid of them." Li Yang nodded, but he secretly thought that his octopus clone must be hidden better, otherwise he would be killed by a stronger cultivator and there would be no reason to complain. "How much can it be sold for?" Li Yang asked. Xiaoji smiled and said, "I'll give you 200 million for the Xian-level mutant monster corpse." 200 million. Li Yang was stunned when he heard this, and a hint of shock appeared in his eyes. "Haha, don't be shocked. If you join our Tianyuan Palace, you will know that money is really nothing to us cultivators," Xiaoji said with a smile. "Show me your bank card." Li Yang nodded and told him the bank card number. Afterwards, Xiaoji made a phone call. Just a dozen seconds after he hung up, Li Yang's phone rang. He looked at the text message from the bank with an extremely shocked look in his eyes. 200 million has arrived. You know, China's audit of money is very strict. You need to make an appointment in advance to withdraw millions, and those involving hundreds of millions need to be strictly audited. But now, in just a dozen seconds, this huge sum of money has arrived. The fact that it arrived so quickly shows the status of the cultivator. Even the top wealthy families such as the Zhao family want to be associated with the cultivator. Rightward arrow. Li Yang looked at the bank card and suddenly said, "If I join Tianyuan Palace, can the safety of my family be guaranteed?" He is a cultivator, so he knows the terrifying strength of the cultivator. With his means, it is too easy to deal with an ordinary person. He is worried that he will have conflicts with other cultivators, and those cultivators will come to deal with his family. Rightward arrow. At this time, Li Yang did have the idea of joining Tianyuan Palace. Xiaoji didn't know that if the 200 million hadn't been transferred, he would have asked to join. After all, if he joined, he would get anti-cancer drugs, and Li Yang would definitely want to get them faster. But now he has 340 million yuan. Tomorrow, the foundation will hold an auction, and he will have a chance to buy 2 anti-cancer drugs directly. Hearing Li Yang's question, Xiaoji smiled calmly and said, "Li Yang, you can rest assured about this. The conflicts between practitioners will be resolved by the practitioners, and their families will not be involved. No practitioner dares to violate this." There was a trace of awe in his eyes, because this is the rule set by our boss himself. Hearing this, Li Yang was relieved. Since it was the rule set by the strongest person who fought against the nuclear explosion, he would have nothing to worry about even if he joined in the future. "Li Yang, what do you think? Are you willing to join?" Xiaoji invited again. "The stronger you are, the more rewards you will get when you join. Now that you have reached the Earth level, the rewards will be very generous after joining. The stronger you are, the more rewards you will get after joining." Hearing Xiaoji's words, Li Yang's heart moved again. Seeing that Li Yang didn't speak, Xiaoji thought he was still hesitating. He smiled and didn't force it, saying, "Think about it again, I have something to do and I will leave first. If you want to join, please contact me on WeChat." He grabbed with his right hand, and the 4-meter-long lobster actually flew up directly and came to his hand on its own initiative. "What is this?" Seeing this, Li Yang was shocked. Grabbing things through the air. He is now physically strong, but he doesn't have this kind of means at all. Then, under Li Yang's shocked gaze, Xiaoji's figure suddenly soared into the air. His speed was very fast. He flew into the darkness in just 2 seconds and disappeared completely. King-level powerhouse. Standing on the beach, watching Xiaoji leave, Li Yang was even more stunned. Flying in the air is the sign of a king-level powerhouse. Today, he actually met one. There are no more than 10 king-level powerhouses in the whole of China. Looking closely at Li Yang's eyes, there is still envy in his eyes. Flying in the air, this is simply what he wanted to do in his childhood dreams. He really wanted to try what it feels like to fly in the air. Huh. After a long while, Li Yang retracted his gaze and his face returned to calm. "If it weren't for the 200 million just now, I would really choose to join Tianyuan Palace directly." Li Yang sighed. Joining the cultivator organization is indeed of great benefit to him. However, Li Yang still hesitated just now. In addition to money, there is another very important reason. Xiaoji said that the stronger you are, the more rewards you will get when you join Tianyuan Palace. I am now at the middle level of the Earth grade, but my strength is still improving. The body refining technique that appeared in the mysterious sword is extremely powerful. According to Li Yang's judgment, his training speed is definitely far faster than that of other practitioners. According to the time, I will finish the 3rd stage of tempering in less than 2 weeks at most, and then enter the 4th stage of tempering. The 4th stage of the body refining corresponds to the heaven grade. The stronger you are, the more rewards you will get when you join Tianyuan Palace. If you join with the heaven grade, there will be more benefits, right? So, Li Yang hesitated just now. For him, it was nothing more than delaying for 2 weeks. Thanks to Banzhengliang Daoshang for the 1,500 reward, and 08 for the 100 reward. Thank you. Please give me monthly tickets and recommendation tickets. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. From the City to the Strongest in the Universe. Author, Ji Difeng Ren. Chapter 56. In 2 weeks, Li Yang will reach the heaven level. Wouldn't it be more beneficial to join Tianyuan Palace when the time comes? I don't want to think about it anymore. Let's talk about Tianyuan Palace in 2 weeks. Even if I don't join Tianyuan Palace now, I can still afford 2 anti-cancer pills. Li Yang put away his thoughts, looked at his account, and showed a bright smile on his lips. 340 million. The 140 million in the previous account, plus the 200 million transferred by Xiaoji, now his funds have reached this much. With these funds, if nothing else happens, I can buy 2 anti-cancer hormones. The last time the 2 anti-cancer drugs appeared, the combined price was only 250 million, and Li Yang was nearly 100 million more than them. Call your parents and tell them. Feeling happy, Li Yang was about to call his parents. He didn't plan to surprise his parents with such a happy thing. If he said it directly, he would definitely make his parents even more happy. In Shanghai Hospital, Li Qiahe and Zhao Rou were chatting, and they seemed to be in a good mood. You can buy anti-cancer drugs in Yangyang tomorrow. With 140 million, you can definitely buy one. Li Qiahe was happy in his heart. He was useless and couldn't give Zhao Rou much, but his son was capable. Zhao Rou was cured, and it didn't matter whether he received anti-cancer drug treatment or not. Brother Hai, Yan Jiang's call, he must be ready to leave. ... Asterisk 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 colon. Asterisk dot colon. Zhao Rou looked at Li Li on the phone at this time. Yang called with a smile. Yang, have you left Linhai City? Zhao Rou clicked on the WeChat video application, and both she and Li Qiahe looked at Li Yang, who appeared in the video. I haven't left yet. Li Yang appeared in the camera with a smile on his face and said, Dad, Mom, I have some good news for you. Yang, what's the good news? Li Qiahe said with a smile. Li Yang quickly recounted what happened before and said, Dad, Mom, I met a mutated lobster at the beach before. That person spent 200 million to buy the mutated lobster. What I have now is the money is already 340 million. Li Yang's face was full of smiles and he said, so, parents, I will probably buy 2 anti-cancer drugs tomorrow. In this case, both of you, parents, will recover. He knew how his parents were feeling, so he didn't hide it for a moment, preparing to make his parents happy. 340 million. Hearing Li Yang's words, Li Qiahe and Zhao Rou were shocked by the great good news. Then their faces showed great excitement. Brother Hai. This is especially true for Zhao Rou. Even if she is cured, Li Qiahe is still lying on the hospital bed. And now, there is hope for both of them to recover. Because during the phone call, Li Yang did not elaborate on this matter, but he said that he met a person, and Li Qiahe and Zhao Rou guessed that he was a practitioner. After telling his parents about the situation, Li Yang took a plane to Beijing that afternoon. In the evening, he arrived at his destination. After finding a hotel to stay in, Li Yang began to practice. Soon, the night passed. Early in the morning, Li Yang walked out of the hotel. Although it was summer, the temperature was still very cool in the morning. A new day has begun. Looking at the rising sun, Li Yang showed a smile on his face. He took the car directly to his destination. The anti-cancer hormone is sold by the Huiguo Wish Medical Foundation, and the money from the sales is used for medical charity. No matter how the anti-cancer hormone is distributed, some people will definitely be dissatisfied, so everyone buys it with money, and the foundation uses the money for charity, so that no one will say it is unfair. Xiao Yang. When he arrived at the destination, Qin Shanchuan was already waiting here. He saw Li Yang and walked over with a smile. He still held a ticket in his hand. This ticket is for you. If you want to enter Xinhu Plaza, you must have a ticket, Qin Shanchuan said with a smile. Li Yang took the ticket and said with a smile, sorry for bothering Uncle Qin. Xinhu Plaza is the place where anti-cancer substances are auctioned. In addition to anti-cancer substances, there are actually other things to be auctioned. All items auctioned will be used for charity. It's a small thing, Qin Shanchuan said with a smile. According to the news I got this time, no wealthy family has cancer, so the price of the anti-cancer hormone shouldn't be too high, and you have a high chance of getting it at auction. If one of the top wealthy families gets cancer, they will definitely spend money to buy it immediately. If there are several families, there will definitely be competition and more money will be spent. However, if you don't get sick, the price of anti-cancer drugs will not be much high. For example, although a top-tier wealthy family like the Zhao family is rich, no one in the family has cancer, so anti-cancer drugs are naturally of no use to them. Therefore, its price should stabilize at a little over 100 million. Li Yang nodded. This must be good news. Come on, let's go in. The two walked into Xinhu Plaza. There were already people inside. When they saw Qin Shanchuan and Li Yang, they glanced at them and then looked away. Li Yang. As soon as he entered, a clear voice suddenly came. Not far away, Zhou Yao walked over with a smile on his face. Zhou Yao, are you here too? Looking at Zhou Yao, Li Yang asked curiously. Well, I came here with my sister-in-law this time, Zhou Yao said with a smile. In fact, she knew that Li Yang would definitely come here to buy anti-cancer drugs today, so she begged Zhou Xiaoun to come here and take a look. Beside him, Qin Shanchuan looked at Li Yang and Zhou Yao, and couldn't help sighing in his heart. What kind of eyes did he have? He could tell at a glance that Zhou Yao was definitely interested in Li Yang. In terms of appearance, Zhou Yao was no less than his daughter Qin Yu. He always hoped that Li Yang and Qin Yu could be together. The more he met this young man, Li Yang, the better he felt. Not to mention his calmness, just looking at his luck. In a short period of time, Li Yang actually earned more than 100 million, and even came to auction this anti-cancer drug. This is a great fortune. In his opinion, Li Yang will definitely not be an ordinary person in the future. Alas, Xiao Yu has always resisted contacting Li Yang. If she doesn't resist, she can take the initiative to find Li Yang more, right? In his opinion, his daughter is so outstanding and beautiful, if she finds Li Yang more, it will be a natural thing for a girl to chase a boy. It's a pity that Qin Yu didn't feel it. Even if he knew that Li Yang would definitely be extraordinary in the future, he couldn't match the two together. Now, Li Yang might be with this girl named Zhou Yao. Last time at the auction house, Zhou Yao also took the initiative to find Li Yang. Yao Yao. Zhou Yao was talking, and suddenly Zhou Xiaoun came over from a distance. She greeted Li Yang, and then looked at Zhou Yao and said, Yao Yao, your second uncle is here. Second uncle? Why is he here? Hearing this, Zhou Yao was stunned and her face changed. I don't know. Zhou Xiaoun shook her head helplessly, indicating that she had no idea about her second brother's arrival. She was pulled here by her niece, and there were only two people from the Zhou family. Not only the second uncle, but also some people from the Zhang family and the Hu family came with him, Zhou Xiaoun said. The Zhang family, the Hu family, etc. are also top wealthy families, and they all came here at this time. From the city to the strongest in the universe. Author, Ji Difeng Ren. Chapter 57. After hearing this, Zhou Yao apologized to Li Yang. Li Yang, I'm leaving in advance now. She knew about her family's affairs. If her second uncle knew that she was staying with Li Yang, it would definitely not be good for Li Yang. Well, we have time to chat. Li Yang smiled and nodded. He watched Zhou Yao leave. Next to him, Qin Shanchuan said with a smile, Xiao Yang, you are an adult. Do you have a girlfriend? You should have a girl you like. Writing this, I hope readers will remember our domain name Taiwan Novel Network. Rightward arrow diamond suit. Li Yang was a little surprised when he heard Qin Shanchuan's words, but he didn't lie. He nodded and said, yes. It's over, Xiaoyu has no chance. Hearing Li Yang's answer, Qin Shanchuan was completely disappointed. He felt that the best son-in-law was gone. Judging from Li Yang's attitude towards Qin Yu, the girl he likes is definitely not Qin Yu. Without continuing the topic, the two continued walking towards the interior of Xinhu Plaza. After walking for a while, Qin Shanchuan suddenly felt a little strange and looked around. What's wrong, Uncle Qin? Li Yang asked doubtfully. Qin Shanchuan whispered, Xiao Yang, there are many big names coming to compete for anti-cancer substances this time. There was obviously doubt on his face, and he said, I have been to this anti-cancer substance auction twice before, but although there were many people in the first 2 times, not many people from big families came, but what I see now there are 7 of them. Big families, like the Zhao family and the Zhou family, who are worth hundreds of billions, and billionaires like his Qin family are not big families at all. There used to be very few family members like the Zhao family and the Zhou family who came here, but now at a glance, there are actually 7 or 8 families. After talking about the doubts in his heart, Li Yang didn't think anything. It was just his first time here. Suddenly, Li Yang looked towards a place, where a middle-aged man came. The middle-aged man was smiling and talking to another person. As if sensing Li Yang's gaze, the middle-aged man also looked at him, but his eyes instantly darkened. Zhao Kun. After glancing at Zhao Kun, Li Yang calmly withdrew his gaze. At this time, he was a little confused. Zhao Kun was here too? As Qin Shanchuan said, there are indeed a lot of big families coming this time. Zhao Kun, is that young man Li Yang, your little sister's son? Another middle-aged man beside Zhao Kun said with a smile. There was a smile on his face, and he was not worried at all about making Zhao Kun unhappy. Hearing this, Zhao Kun forced a smile on his face, shook his head and said, Brother Wan is laughing. He was angry and depressed. The Wan family where the middle-aged man in front of him belonged was also one of the top richest people in China, but they were the ones fawning over him because the Wan family had a close relationship with the heaven-level cultivator. With the protection of that heaven-level cultivator, the status of the Wan family is naturally higher than that of the Zhao family. Zhao Kun was irritated. If his little sister had been with Zheng Qian, with the Zheng family's current strength of a heaven level and a king level, it would be the Wan family who would come to curry favor with their family. Not only the Wan family, but also most other major families will come to curry favor with them. But it didn't happen, and all of this was destroyed by Li Yang's father, Li Kuahe. This time Zhao Gangxing must have known that Li Yang was here to auction the anti-cancer substances. If it weren't for Zhao Gangxing's instructions, if Li Yang came to auction the anti-cancer substances this time, he would definitely have interfered with it. By the way, Brother Wan, when will Zhenyi come? Zhao Kun stopped his thoughts and asked with a smile. From what he said, it seemed that Zhenyi was the reason for coming here this time. Soon Wan Qiang smiled. He didn't say much, and Zhao Kun could only suppress his thoughts. As time passed, there were more and more people in Xinhu Square. Boom! Suddenly a voice sounded, and Li Yang even felt excited when he heard the voice. The auction is about to begin. Under the gaze of everyone, an old man who looked to be in his 60s, with slightly white hair, but a bright spirit came out. The old man smiled and said, There are more people coming this time. No nonsense, this time is the same as last time, it is still 2 anti-cancer drugs. If you need it, you can bid. As for other auction items, everyone will it's your choice to buy or not to buy in the square. To put it bluntly, the foundation started by directly conducting an auction of anti-cancer substances. 70 million. 80 million. 100 million. 110 million. Some people began to bid, and Li Yang also made a bid, saying, 120 million. At this price, no one spoke. For cancer patients, anti-cancer substances are of infinite value, but for people who are not sick, anti-cancer substances are just that. As for buying it in advance, every anti-cancer drug auctioned must be used as soon as possible. Those that require registration are not allowed to be purchased and used. Okay, the first anti-cancer drug was auctioned by auctioneer No. 131, the old man announced with a smile. Got it? When Li Yang heard the results announced, although his face was calm, his heart immediately became excited. Rightward arrow. The first anti-cancer hormone was obtained without any surprises that he was worried about. And after spending 120 million, he still has 220 million on him. These prices are enough to buy a second anti-cancer pill. With 2 anti-cancer pills in hand, my parents can finally recover. Li Yang was very happy that he had been exposed to cultivation before and even had the strength he had now. Maybe for other people, getting involved in cultivation is totally worth it even if they spend tens of billions. But for Li Yang, the fact that he obtained the anti-cancer substance at the auction was even more satisfying than the fact that he had cultivated to this point. The anti-cancer hormone meant that his father no longer had to lie in a hospital bed waiting to die. Family is always the most important to Li Yang. Who is that young man? Never seen it? Those who can spend more than 100 million to auction anti-cancer substances must have an extraordinary family background. Haha, you don't know, but I know that this young man is Zhao Kun's nephew. Zhao Kun's nephew? Zhao family. What is the Zhao family? He is Zhao Rou's son. Zhao Rou. Haha, I know, that old man Zhao Qingxing's daughter is a joke. Has Zhao Rou returned to the Zhao family? Otherwise, how could her son have so much money to buy anti-cancer drugs? No, last time at Suanxi auction house, the relationship between Li Yang and Zhao Kun was not very good. At this time, many people were looking at Li Yang. Being able to auction anti-cancer substances must have some strength, but they didn't even know Li Yang. However, some people who were at Suanxi auction house last time happened to be here at this time, so they knew about the relationship between Li Yang and Zhao Kun. After a little talk, everyone present got to know Li Yang. On Zhou Yao's side, when she saw that Li Yang had auctioned the anti-cancer substance, Zhou Xiaoyun touched Zhou Yao and winked at her. Zhou Yao also had a smile on her face at this time, happy for Li Yang. Next to them, there was a man who looked to be in his 30s. He noticed the movements of Zhou Xiaoyun and Zhou Yao and asked, Xiaoyun, Yao Yao, do you know that young man? This man's name is Zhou Tiantao, and he is Zhou Xiaoyun's brother. We know each other. Zhou Xiaoyun nodded and said, that young man is Yao Yao's classmate. Classmate? Zhou Tiantao nodded and didn't ask any more questions. However, the discussion among the people around him spread, and Zhou Tiantao also heard it, and his expression changed slightly. The son of Zhao Rou of the Zhao family. There was a rumor in the Zhao family that Zhao Qingxing's daughter did not choose the Zheng family, but chose an ordinary person. This made Zhao Qianxing furious and made the Zhao family a joke. And now a king-level strongman who is like a land god has appeared in the Zheng family. This caused someone to reveal what happened to the Zhao family back then with malicious intent. He also knew this. Xiaoyun, Yao Yao, you should have less contact with this person named Li Yang. The Li Yang family has offended the Zheng family, and there is no benefit in contacting them. Zhou Tiantao said directly, besides, people from the Zheng family will be here soon. I got inside information. Not only Zheng Qian's son Zheng Yi, but even Zheng Qian, who is already at the heaven level, may come over. You can't talk to Li Yang. In his opinion, people like Li Yang should be stayed away from. This time so many rich people gathered here, it was all for the Zheng family. The appearance of king-level cultivators has made the Zheng family famous. Many people want to curry favor but can't find a way. Now the opportunity has come, who is willing to miss it? The Zhou family does not have a single cultivator, and they are extremely eager to curry favor with a powerful cultivator. Hearing Zhou Tiantao's words, Zhou Yao's expression changed slightly. As for Zhou Xiaoun, she took her hand in time, smiled and said to Zhou Tiantao, "Second brother, don't worry, Yao Yao and I know what's appropriate." Yet Zhou Tiantao nodded and said nothing more. The auction of the first anti-cancer hormone is over, and the second one is now being auctioned. After the first anti-cancer drug was auctioned, it actually only took more than 10 seconds. The old man smiled again, and then people started bidding. Soon the price reached 120 million. At this time, Li Yang shouted directly, 130 million. Is it that young man again? Some people's eyes immediately noticed Li Yang. Zhao Kun's face had always been as dark as water, but when he heard Li Yang speak, Zhao Kun's expression changed. Didn't Li Yang spend 120 million? How can he still have money to auction anti-cancer substances? Zhao Kun's face changed. He knew about Li Yang's situation. After the bluefin tuna was auctioned, he went to investigate Li Yang and determined that Li Yang did not gain much after that. In his opinion, it was normal for Li Yang to auction an anti-cancer drug. This was also the tacit agreement between him and Zhao Qianxin to allow Li Yang to auction one. But why did Li Yang suddenly have the money to auction the second one? For him, this is definitely not what he wants to see. Not only him, this is definitely not what Zhao Qianxin wants to see. Thanks to Banzhengliang Duoshang and Book Friend 202208152033433923 for the 1500 reward, and thanks to 08A for the 100 reward. Thank you. Please give me monthly votes and recommendation votes. From the city to the strongest in the universe. Author, Ji Difeng Ren. Chapter 58. Zhao Kun's face changed. Li Yang actually had the money to auction the second anti-cancer? However, Li Yang suddenly spoke up after the others bid up to 120 million. It was too late for him to call Zhao Gangxing now. In fact, this was also intentional by Li Yang. Knowing the situation of the Zhao family towards his father, Li Yang also guessed that the Zhao family would not interfere in the auction of the first anti-cancer, but it was unclear what the attitude would be when auctioning the second one, and it was likely to sabotage. So Li Yang made his move only at the end. 130 million, is there a higher price than this? The old man in charge of the auction said with a smile. Zhao Kun's face darkened slightly, and he suddenly said, 140 million. After he spoke, many people immediately started to discuss as if they were watching a good show. This Zhao Kun is competing with his nephew. Haha, let's see if the situation of Zhao Kun and his sister's family not getting along is true. Interesting. These people watched the scene as if they were watching a show. When Li Yang heard Zhao Kun speak, he couldn't help but curse in his heart, old thing. He said directly, 150 million. Zhao Kun continued, 160 million. At this time, Zhao Kun sneered in his heart, Li Yang, I won't let you take this anti-cancer element even if I spend a little money. His son is the only practitioner in the Zhao family. If he had been involved with the Zheng family, his son's current situation would definitely be much better, and he wouldn't have to practice so hard. Except for Zhao Gangxing, the only one in the Zhao family who wanted Li Kuahe to die. 170 million. 180 million. In this way, the two competed, and soon the price broke through 200 million. At this time, Zhao Kun's face changed. How is it possible? How much money does Li Yang have? Now it has reached 200 million, how can he still take it out? There are so many people here, since it is auctioned, it is impossible to regret it. Adding the previous 120 million, Li Yang's money is more than 300 million. Although his Zhao family is rich, most of it is fixed assets such as stocks, and there are not so many real liquid assets. Although 200 million can be taken out, it will cost a bit. The key is to reach their level. If you want to do something, you must consider the gains and losses. It is impossible to do it stubbornly for one thing. For example, the anti-cancer drug costs about 100 million or 200 million. It is not cost-effective to spend more than 200 million. In the end, Zhao Kun did not bid again. Li Yang breathed a sigh of relief when he saw that Zhao Kun did not raise the price. He only had the last 20 million left, and it would be gone after the increase. 200 million, is there anyone who wants to bid? The old man said a few times, and finally announced with a smile, since no one bids, I now announce that the second anti-cancer drug will also be auctioned by the 131st auctioneer. Hearing the old man's verdict, Li Yang breathed a sigh of relief. All in hand. He was delighted, and no more accidents happened. If they went back early, Li Kuahe and Zhao Rou would be fully recovered by this time tomorrow. In addition to being happy, Li Yang glanced at Zhao Kun, and cursed in his heart, this old thing made me spend an extra 70 million. Without Zhao Kun's help, he could have auctioned the second anti-cancer drug for about 130 million. At this time, Zhao Kun's face was also slightly gloomy. He didn't expect that Li Yang could actually buy 2 anti-cancer drugs. No, I have to call my dad to see what his attitude is. Zhao Kun's face changed, and he was ready to call in a while. At this moment, suddenly someone's excited voice came. Zhenyi is here. Boom. It was like throwing a giant beast on the water, and many people immediately showed excitement on their faces. The people from the top wealthy families, Zhao Kun, Zhou Tiantao, Wan Qiang, and others, all walked towards one place. Zhenyi. Hearing this name, Li Yang looked at the excited crowd strangely. Uncle Qin, who is this Zhenyi? Qin Shanchuan thought for a moment, shook his head and said, I don't know. His own ability is limited, so he naturally knows much less information. Seeing that Qin Shanchuan didn't know, Li Yang didn't ask more. He was in a good mood at this time, waiting for the arrival of the anti-cancer. After the anti-cancer is auctioned, a special person will come and go with Li Yang to the place where the person who wants to use it is to use it directly. For example, these top rich people, even if they don't have cancer, may also compete for anti-cancer, in order to prevent possible accidents in the future. This kind of situation of deliberately buying and not using it, waiting to use it later is not allowed, so the price of anti-cancer has not risen. If it can really be stored, every rich family is probably rushing to store it. After all, the probability of elderly people getting cancer is very high. There are only 10 anti-cancer drugs per month, and the competition among the rich is probably very fierce, so the price is unimaginable. While waiting, Li Yang looked around. Xinhu Square not only auctions anti-cancer drugs, but also other things, such as calligraphy and paintings, stones, and even flowers and plants, etc. These are very expensive, but the money spent will be used for charity by the Xinyuan Medical Fund. These calligraphy and paintings, stones, flowers, and plants are also donated to charity organizations by others. While waiting, Li Yang strolled around casually. At this time, he came to a flower and plant area, one of which had several potted orchids. The price of orchids is very high, and a carefully cultivated orchid can even be sold at a sky-high price of hundreds of thousands. At this time, a colorful orchid appeared in front of Li Yang. I don't know how it was cultivated, but there is a fruit on it. Li Yang took a look and accidentally approached the orchid. After approaching, his body suddenly paused, and a trace of shock appeared in the depths of his eyes. What is this fluctuation? He actually felt a fluctuation on the fruit of the colorful orchid, which seemed to be a fluctuation of energy, which was somewhat similar to the energy of heaven and earth he had absorbed before. Thinking in his heart, Li Yang looked at the staff of the foundation who was setting up the stall calmly and said, "How much is this orchid?" The staff of the auction house smiled and said, "Sir, this orchid is a carefully cultivated colorful orchid donated by the Lanzhou Flower Association, and the price is 500,000. Hearing this, Li Yang nodded and said, "I'll buy it." He paid 500,000 directly and took the colorful orchid in his hand. "Li Yang, are you also interested in orchids?" Qin Shanchuan asked with a smile beside him. Li Yang smiled and said, "I'm a little interested." He gently touched the fruit with his hand, and suddenly he seemed to be a little eager, and he really felt the strange energy in the fruit, as if his body wanted to absorb this energy. "What is this fruit?" "It actually contains the energy of heaven and earth." Li Yang was extremely surprised. He suddenly thought of what Xiaoji said before, and a glimmer of light suddenly appeared in his eyes. "Is this a spiritual fruit herb that can improve strength?" You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. From the City to the Strongest in the Universe. Author, G. Difeng Ren. Chapter 59. Li Yang thought of what Xiaoji of Tianyuan Palace said before. There are other practitioners in this world, and there are also some medicinal herbs and spiritual fruits that can help practitioners improve their strength. At this time, Li Yang fully felt the spiritual power of the spiritual fruit, and his whole body felt eager to absorb the energy inside. The anti-cancer factor needs to wait for a while, now find a place to absorb the energy and see. Li Yang said in his heart, wanting to try it. Knowing the things about the practitioners and the practitioners of the Zheng family, he is now extremely eager to improve his strength. When the anti-cancer factor is obtained, there will be a special person to go to Shanghai with him to treat his parents. During that time, he certainly can't practice, and he can't wait, so why not take advantage of this time to practice? There are many restrooms in this auction venue. "Hello, arrange a room for me." Li Yang looked at an auction staff and said directly. The auctioneer nodded and said, "Okay, sir, wait a moment, I will arrange it for you immediately." Li Yang was waiting silently, and a large group of people came over in the distance. Zhao Kun, Zhou Tiantao and other people of status were all surrounding a young man, and it was obvious that this young man was the main person. The young man looked only about 20 years old, and it was unknown what kind of amazing status he had. "Mr. Zheng, how is your father now? The last time I saw your father was half a year ago." "Yes, with the strength of Mr. Zheng's father, there is hope that he will go further in the future and break through to the king level." These people were complimenting him, and Zhao Kun's face was full of smiles. Listening to what they said, you can judge the identity of the young man in front of you. Zheng Yi, a member of the Zheng family. The Zheng family now has one king level and one heaven level, and the king level is Zheng Yi's grandfather. There are only a few king level people in the whole country of China, and each of them has a high status and position that any big family wants to please and make friends with. In the crowd, Zhao Kun had a flattering smile on his face, but he was obviously not in the main position in the crowd. Coincidentally, Zheng Yi's father was Zheng Gan, who Zhao Rou rejected at the beginning. Zhao Kun was a little annoyed. Zheng Yi's talent for cultivation was not high. Even though his elders were very strong, his own strength had just reached the Xian level. However, there were so many people trying to please Zheng Yi. There were more than a dozen people around him who were comparable to him. The Zhao Group was one of the giant enterprises in China, with a total asset of hundreds of billions. He was the second in command of the Zhao Group, and the Zhao Group would be handed over to him in the future, but he still kowtowed in front of Zheng Yi. Practitioners were on another level. For example, they could not recognize those precious spiritual fruits and herbs, and those treasures could even prolong life. Only practitioners could identify them, and they needed to please practitioners just for this matter. Next to Zhao Kun was Zhou Tiantao, who was also sighing in his heart at this time. This is a cultivator. Seeing that the second in command and heirs of the wealthy families around him, who were all higher in status than him, were trying to please Zheng Yi, a young man in his 20s, he was even more shocked. Dad and the others are right. My Zhou family is just missing a cultivator. If we have a relationship with a cultivator, then the status of my Zhou family will rise rapidly. Other top wealthy families have 1 or 2 cultivators, but their huge Zhou family does not have a single cultivator with cultivation talent. This undoubtedly makes the Zhou family's top leaders extremely anxious and want to use all means to get in touch with the cultivator. Zheng Yi had a smile on his face, enjoying the respect of the people around him. Rightward arrow. Weak cultivation talent is his shortcoming, but so what? Everyone around him is a top wealthy person, and they all come to please him. He enjoys this feeling. As he spoke, Zheng Yi also smiled and said, "My dad is outside now. He told me that he will come to Xinhu Square today and will probably arrive here in a while." Haha, that's great. I really want to meet Lord Zhenggan. As soon as the words fell, several people smiled and complimented him. Everyone walked together. Zhou Tiantao looked at Zhou Xiaoyun and Zhou Yao in the crowd. Zhou Tiantao winked at Zhou Yao, and the meaning was very clear. Zhou Yao and Zheng Yi were of similar age. They could have a little contact. Maybe they would have a chance to be together in the future. Zhou Yao ignored Zhou Tiantao's gaze and turned away. Why didn't Yao Yao react at all? Zhou Tiantao was furious when he saw this. Not to mention the king-level strongman behind Zheng Yi, he was tall and handsome. Isn't it normal to get to know such a young man? How many girls dream of being with such an outstanding young man? If they really get together, what does it mean to the Zhou family? The many wealthy people present obviously had their own thoughts, and Zheng Yi, who was surrounded by them, was also looking around casually. His eyes fell on Li Yang and the colorful orchid in his hand. Just as he was about to retract his gaze, Zheng Yi was stunned. He seemed to be unable to believe what he saw, and then his eyes showed an extremely surprised look. Colorful orchid fruit. He showed ecstasy in his eyes, as if he thought he had seen it wrong, but he looked at the middle-aged man next to him, and the middle-aged man nodded at him. Haha, my luck is so good, I came here and actually encountered colorful orchid fruit. Zheng Yi obviously knew the effect of the 7-color orchid fruit. If I refine the energy inside, not only will my physique improve, but my strength will also increase significantly, and I may even reach the earth level in a very short time. Zheng Yi thought excitedly. He knew exactly how precious the 7-color orchid fruit was. He stepped forward quickly and walked to the side of Li Yang. "My friend, I wonder if you can sell me the orchid in your hand." Zheng Yi reluctantly withdrew his eyes from the 7-color orchid, then looked at Li Yang with a smile on his face. Li Yang was waiting for the room to be arranged, when suddenly the group of people in the distance came to him, especially the young man in the lead who actually asked him for the 7-color orchid. "Mr. Zheng Yi wants the 7-color orchid." When the people around saw the orchid in Li Yang's hand, some people couldn't help but regret it. "Alas, I saw this orchid before and wanted to buy it but hesitated." "Me too, what a good opportunity. If I can buy it, then the relationship with Mr. Zheng Yi will undoubtedly be further advanced." Looking at Zheng Yi's smiling face at Li Yang, it can be seen that Zheng Yi likes the orchid very much. If the orchid was theirs, they would give it to Zheng Yi without hesitation, which would undoubtedly establish a friendship, and even make Zheng Yi owe them a favor. Unfortunately, the colorful orchid was in Li Yang's hands. Not only them, but also Zhao Kun, whose face was not very good at this time. What kind of luck did Li Yang have? Buying an orchid is all that Master Zheng Yi needs. Li Yang is about to reach the heaven level, and his strength will be truly demonstrated. Please support with monthly tickets and recommendation tickets. Thank you 08 for the 100 rewards, thank you. From the city to the strongest in the universe. Author, G. Difeng Ren. Chapter 60. I hope readers will remember our domain name Taiwan Novel Network rightward arrow. Zhao Kun's face was not looking good. Because of Zhao Rou's past, the Zhao family and the Zheng family had a bad relationship. Although the Zheng family said that they didn't care at the beginning, they knew that the relationship with the Zheng family could not be very good. This time, Zhao Kun also knew that it would be impossible for Zheng Yi to look up to him, but he had to come. Any action related to practitioners must be taken very seriously. 7-color orchid. Looking at Zheng Yi and others coming, Li Yang's heart moved. Practitioners. Seeing that the crowd was obviously dominated by young people, Li Yang could not think of any other reason except that they were practitioners. The specialness of this orchid was discovered by this practitioner. Li Yang's heart sank slightly, but when it came to his hands, he would not choose to hand it over. Li Yang shook his head and said, "I'm sorry, I don't have the intention to sell it." Hearing Li Yang's words, Zheng Yi's smile froze. There were so many people here, and they were all of high status. In his opinion, Li Yang should sell it to him immediately, or even give it to him. After all, such things have happened too many times. Practitioners and ordinary people are in two completely different worlds. But, Li Yang actually rejected him. He was a little unhappy, but Zheng Yi still smiled and said, "I really like this orchid. I am willing to pay a high price for it. The price is up to you. Is 10 million enough?" Looking at the prices of several orchids on the stall in front of him, they all seemed to be hundreds of thousands. Li Yang's price for this orchid should also be hundreds of thousands. He directly raised the price by 20 times. Hearing this, Li Yang continued to shake his head and said, "I'm sorry, I really don't plan to sell it." Li Yang refused. Is he a fool? Can't he see the identity of Mr. Zheng Yi? When the people around heard Li Yang's words, they were also surprised. With so many people surrounding Zheng Yi, anyone could see that Zheng Yi's identity was extraordinary. The same was true for Zhao Kun. Looking at Li Yang, he felt that he could not see through him at all since he came into contact with Li Yang. At this moment, suddenly someone in the crowd smiled and said, "Zhao Kun, Li Yang is your nephew. Now Mr. Zheng Yi wants the orchid in his hand. Can you help say a few words?" Hearing this, Zhao Kun's face changed. He looked and saw that it was the Zhang family who spoke. The Zhang family is also a top wealthy family. They are business peers with their Zhao family. They are in a competitive relationship and have never had a good relationship. Many people present knew about the Xi'an City auction house. Now they opened their mouths and their hearts were worthy of death. "Oh, this young man is your nephew, Zhao Kun?" After hearing this, Zheng Yi looked at Zhao Kun. Of course, he knew Zhao Kun, and he knew that his father almost got together with Zhao Kun's sister. However, cultivators cannot attack ordinary people. Even if his grandfather broke through to the king level, he would not dare to violate this, so they did not do anything to the Zhao family. But he has never had a good impression of the Zhao family. As for Li Yang's identity, he did not know how many sisters Zhao Kun had, and he was not interested in knowing, so he did not connect Li Yang with Zhao Rou for the time being. Hearing Zheng Yi's words, Zhao Kun had to bite the bullet and walked out, saying, "Yes, Master Zheng Yi, Li Yang is my nephew." Hearing this, Zheng Yi smiled and said, "Then talk to your nephew and sell this orchid to me. The price is up to your nephew." Seeing Zheng Yi say this, Zhao Kun couldn't help but secretly curse the person who spoke before. Will Li Yang listen to him? If he really listened, he would have spoken just now. At the Xi'an City auction house, with Li Yang's attitude, wouldn't he be asking for trouble if he spoke? He has been in charge of the Zhao group for so many years, so he is naturally not a fool. But when Master Zheng Yi said this, he still said with a stiff upper lip, "Li Yang, "This is Master Zhenyi, you sell this orchid to him." He used a respectful title to Zhenyi, representing Zhenyi's status and position. If Li Yang was smart, he should know what to do. However, after hearing his words, Li Yang didn't give him any face at all and didn't bother to pay attention to him. Seeing Li Yang ignoring him, Zhao Kun suddenly felt angry, and he said in a deep voice, "Li Yang, I'm talking to you." There were so many people around, and they all seemed to be laughing at him. Li Yang glanced at him and said indifferently, "Zhao Kun, have you forgotten what I said before? Who do you think you are to tell me to do things?" There was a hint of sarcasm on his face. He hated Zhao family members except for the second brother Zhao Hao that his mother had mentioned, especially Zhao Gangxing and Zhao Kun. After hearing Li Yang's words, Zhao Kun was still furious even though he was prepared. "Li Yang, do you know what you are talking about? What is his identity?" Li Yang's father, Li Kuahe, had only been able to wag his tail and beg for mercy in front of him before, but Li Yang provoked him again and again, not taking him seriously at all. Sure enough, as everyone said, Li Yang, the nephew, doesn't care about Zhao Kun at all. Interesting, the Zhao family is now having scandals one after another. The so-called filial piety should be used to describe the Zhao family. At this time, everyone around looked like they were watching a good show. Zhao Kun was furious, but Zhenyi was here at this time, so he could only suppress it and dared not vent it, but said in a deep voice, "Even my Zhao family can't afford to offend Master Zhenyi. Li Yang, you should know what choice to make." "Sir, the room has been arranged." After the words fell, a staff member not far away quickly walked over and said to Li Yang. The staff looked a little confused when they saw so many people here, not quite sure what was going on. Li Yang ignored Zhao Kun and said to the staff, "Take me there." "Okay, sir, please follow me," the staff member nodded. "You." Seeing Li Yang ignoring him, Zhao Kun's anger suddenly increased, but he suppressed it and turned to look at Zhenyi. At this time, Zhenyi stared at Li Yang's back and narrowed his eyes slightly. "Sir, would you like?" the middle-aged man next to Zhenyi asked, and his meaning was obvious. Zhenyi thought for a while and said, "Go and investigate this Li Yang, I need his detailed information." Zhenyi is obviously not a stupid person. There are so many people here from Zhao Kun and they even named him, but Li Yang doesn't take it seriously at all. When things go wrong, there must be a monster. He is worried that Li Yang will pretend to be a pig and eat the tiger, and he has some unknown trump card. If this is really the case, provoking them will not do them any good. His grandfather and father often taught him that he should check everything thoroughly before doing anything. If you are not completely sure, then be more cautious. Although there are not many people that the Zheng family is afraid of, there are still some. Therefore, he did not take action against Li Yang for the time being and was prepared to thoroughly understand Li Yang's situation. If Li Yang had any trump cards, then they wouldn't be in trouble if they didn't take action. But if Li Yang doesn't have a trump card, then he will just take action later. For him, it's just a matter of waiting. This won't take long. Zhenyi calmed down and stayed silently, waiting for the middle-aged man to call to investigate the information. As for other people around him, they looked at each other in confusion.